haunted house, Blackwood Tooth. Grumio. Trainio, Trainio, come out of that house. Come out, you smelly silken. I know you're hiding in there. If you ever come back on the farm, I'll give you what you deserve. You, in there, you're ruining your master's house. Come out here, I say. Trainio comes out of Theoproplius' house. Trainio. Well, if it isn't Mr. Pig. You forgot that you are in the city, not the country in which you are accustomed. There is no need to yell so. Please go back to the farm where you belong. Get away from the store. Are you waiting for this? He begins to strike Grumio. Grumio, why are you hitting me? Trainio, for being live and annoying me. Grumio, oh, how I wish our master would come home, and when he does, he will see how you're eating him out of house and home, and wasting all his money. Trainio, that's a lie. Grumio, I know you think me to be a country bumpkin, but when you look upon yourself as a wage chap, when the master discovers what a sneaky servant you've been, you will be soon sent to the country in irons. Go ahead, waste your master's good, and encourage his son to do the same. With your time will come. Go ahead, be merry while you can. Go ahead, drink all day, eat all night. Was that what the master told you to do while he was away? Was this being a good servant? His son was considered to be the best behaved young man in town, but now, under your influence, he's an entirely different person. Trainio, I don't see what business it is of yours what I do. Don't you have some sort of cattle or pigs to look after on the farm? If I like eating and drinking and staying up late, that's my affair, so there.
Grumio, to the audience. He certainly is sure of himself and eating. Trainio, boy, do you stink. What is it I smell? Pig, goat, or garlic? Grumio, we can't all stink of perfumes like you. Trainio, jealous. That's what you are, my dear Grumio. Jealous. I'm doing well, and you're not. Grumio, when the master comes home, you will be hustled to the streets under a yoke. Trainio, oh, be quiet, or I'll exterminate you right on this spot. Grumio, do you have any fodder for me to take back to the cattle? Trainio, you bore me! Grumio, okay, eat, drink, and be merry. Fill your bellies, you and the master's son. When the master comes, Trainio, be quiet, go back to the farm where you belong. I'll have the fodder sent over the farm tomorrow sometime. Now, I'm busy. I have to go marketing for some fish for supper. Well, why are you standing there, bird brain? They'll be calling you worse things before long. You'll see, says Grumio. Trainio, before long, they can do what they like, provided things can stay as they are for the present. Grumio, those sound like famous last words to me. This I know, that things happen quicker than you expected. Trainio, go away, remove yourself. Go back to the farm. I can't waste any more time on you. Then he exits. Grumio, to the audience. He doesn't give tuppence for my warnings. Oh gods, please have the master come home soon before the house and farm go to complete ruin. It's been 3 years now since the master went away. 3 years is a long time, as well as you know. In a few months, all
will be ruined, the farm, the house, and the master's money will all be spent. Oh well, I tried to stop that smart alecky city servant. It's been nice chatting with you, but I'd better go back work to the farm. For I'm a hard-working country servant. Grumio exits and Velasquez from the house in his pajamas. I'm asleep. Velasquez, to the audience. Oh, so I overslept. Yes, once I was a model child and the best in my class. I excelled at throwing the discus and javelin, fencing, and numbers. Now I'm out of shape. This house is falling apart too. The beams are rotten through and through. I'm afraid the whole house could soon collapse, but nothing can be done about it, for I am in debt. I guess I spent too much of my father's money. I guess I'll go and take a wee bit of a nap. Velasquez enters his house and Calamitas enters acting silly. Calamitas, to the audience and staggering. I am his best friend. Let him sing to wake him up. Help me singing. For he is a jolly good fellow, for he is a jolly good fellow, for he is a jolly good fellow that nobody can deny, that nobody can deny, that nobody can deny. For he is a jolly good fellow that nobody can deny. Say, I feel a bit dizzy. Say, is anybody home? Enter Philashes. Philashes, hello, my good friend. Calidamets. Philashes, greetings to the best pal on earth. He staggers into the arms of Philashes. Philashes, you better sit down. Calidamets, I think I'll just go to sleep.
Enter Trinium, very upset. Trinium. It's all over, my friends. The master is returning from his travels. He's back. Jupiter and all the gods have turned against me. Does anybody in the audience want to take my place? I have a feeling I'm going to have a dozen spears stuck in my hide. Philashes. Wake up, my dizzy friend. Tranio is back. Now we shall get something to eat. Tranio. Philashes. Philashes. What's the matter? Tranio. We are dead, dead, dead. Philashes. We are? Tranio. Your father is back. Philashes. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. Philashes. Oh, no. Tranio. We are finished. We are finished. Philashes. Who saw him? Tranio. My two eyeballs saw him. That's who saw him. Philashes. You actually saw him? Tranio. Of course I did. Philashes. Well, it's the end of me. Oh, Tranio, what shall I do? Tranio. Wake him up. Philashes. Wake up, Calamidates. My father is back. Wake up. Calamidates. Long live the father of Philashes. Philashes. He'll live all right. I'm the one who is dying. Calamidates. Let's have a little party.
Tranio, get up and be quiet. Philashes. What am I going to do, Tranio? Soon my father will be here and he'll find me in my pajamas entertaining a drunken pal in the house in bad shape and most of his money gone. For me. Tranio, he's asleep again. Wake him up and let's drag him out of here. Philashes. Wake up, Calamidates. My father is coming. Calamidates, where is he? I'll kill him and then we'll go away. Tranio, be quiet, you silly fool. You'll have us all killed. Let's drag him into the house. With much effort, they drag Calamidates into the house. Philashes. All is lost. Tranio. Never say die, Philashes. I think I have an idea. Suppose I can fix it when your father arrives. He never enters the house. Suppose I manage to persuade him to run another direction. Philashes. Impossible. Tranio, listen. Go inside the house and keep your silly friend quiet. Lock all the doors. Warn all the servants to be absolutely still. And if there was a living soul in that house. If there wasn't a living soul in their house. Philashes. Right. Tranio. And anybody, absolutely nobody, absolutely nobody must enter the door when your friend knocks. Answer the door when your father knocks. Philashes. Tranio, I'll commit all my life and hope into your hands. He enters the house. Tranio, to the audience. Now let him come upon the scene. I'll put on a good show for the old man. I'll hide in the corner. Enter Theophilus. End of Act 1. Theophilus. Thank you, Neptune, for bringing me home safe and dry. Never again will I set foot upon water. I never want to set eyes upon you again. To the audience. Well, I'm back after 3 long, long years in Egypt. I'm sure my son will be very glad to see me after all this time. Tranio, to the audience. I'd be glad to see someone bringing me news of his death. Theophilus attempts to open the door of his house. Theophilus. Why is the door locked? It is daytime. He begins to knock. Is anybody home? Open this door, I say. Tranio. Who can that be outside our house? Theophilus. Tranio, my loyal servant, Tranio. Tranio. Master, oh, gentle master, you are at last safe and at home with the people who love you. Theophilus. Tell me, what is going on here? Tranio. What, sir? Theophilus. There's no one at home answering my knocking, not a living soul. I have bruised my knuckles pounding on that stupid door. Tranio. You haven't touched the house, have you? Tell me it's not so. Theophilus. Of course I touched it. How could I hope but touch it if I knocked on the locked door? Why shouldn't I touch it? Tranio. Alas, all is lost. Starts crying. Theophilus. What, alas, is you? Tranio. You have done something most horrible. Theophilus. I think that you must have a fever or something. Are you ill? Tranio. What a terrible, impious thing you have done. Theophilus. Tranio, calm yourself and tell me what I have done.
Tranio. Oh, master, quickly come away from that house. He drags. I didn't even know how to say that. Theophilus. Theopropides. Avoid this house. Avoid it. Avoid it. Fly, sir. Fly. I implore you to fly from this house. Are you sure you touched the door? Theopropides.
Theopolis.
Theopropides. Properties. To the audience, poor Tranio is off his locker. Tranio, alas, alas, you've caused the death of Theopropides. Whose death? Speak! Tranio, you've caused the death of all your house. Theopropides, may the gods and goddesses cause your death for talking this way. Two of another person,
Philosius.
Philosius. Friends enter and start to knock on the door. Tranio, quickly, keep those people away from the door. Theopropides, you two, keep away from the house. Tranio, quickly, cast yourself upon the ground. Everyone falls face first on the ground. Theopropides, Tranio, for the love of gods, please explain what all this is about. Tranio, I shall. Listen, several months ago, we all left the house, and no living soul has set foot inside since. Theopropides, why? Tranio, everyone get up and look around to see if we are being overheard. Everyone searches about. Theopropides, yes, we are quite alone. Tranio, look again, just to be sure. Everyone searches about again. Theopropides, I tell you, there is no one about. We're the only people here.
Thank you. Tranio. Oh, master, a horrible, horrible crime has been committed. Theopropides. What horrible, horrible crime? Tranio. A horrible crime. An old, ancient, horrible, horrible crime. Theopropides. What crime? What crime? Out with it. Tranio. Listen and I shall speak. Theopropides. Yes. Yes? Tranio. A host murdered his guest in this very house. He was the very man who sold you this house many years ago. Theopropides. Murdered his guest? Tranio. Yes. Murdered by and robbed by his guest and then buried the body in this very house. Theopropides. How'd you ever discover this terrible occurrence? Tranio. Listen and I shall speak. One evening after your son and all the servants had retired to bed, your son let out a terrible yell. My son? Theopropides. My son did? Tranio. Please don't interrupt, just listen. Your son yelled. The dead guest had appeared to him in his sleep. Theopropides. Really? Tranio. Do not interrupt. Listen. Theopropides. Alright, I shall be still. Not another word from me. Tranio. The dead man said to your son, my host slew me and buried me in this house without the benefit of a burial ceremony. You must leave this house, for it is the house of abomination. This house is the domicile of sin. That is what the ghost said to your son. A noise comes from the house. Theopropides. Hark, what was that noise from inside the house?
Tranio. Yes, what is it? Theopropides. I think someone is at the door. Tranio. The ghost walks. Theopropides. Oh, merciful gods, the dead are coming to drag me to Hades. My blood is frozen. Tranio to the audience. Those fools inside the house are going to ruin everything. If I'm found out, may the gods be merciful. Theopropides. What are you muttering about, Tranio? Tranio. Oh, sir, come away from that door. I beseech you. Fly away, sir. Fly away before it's too late. Theopropides. To where shall I fly? Say, why don't you have to fly away too? Tranio. I have made my peace with the dead, so I have nothing to fear. Cleinias from within. Hey, Tranio. Tranio speaking into the keyhole. Why do you call my name, O ghost? It was not I who knocked on the door. It was not I who disturbed your peace. Theopropides. Tranio, what is happening? Tranio. Oh, I am so relieved. It was you calling my name. For a moment, I thought it was the ghost of the man crying out to me because you had knocked on the door. Oh, Theopropides, master, do as I tell you and leave. Theopropides. Do what? Tranio. Cover your head, don't look back, and fly away. Theopropides. But aren't you going to fly with me? Tranio. I told you before that I have made peace with the dead. Theopropides. I know, but why are you so frightened then?
Tranio. Oh, master, please don't worry about me. You go away as safely as you can. Theopropides. Oh, Hercules, come to my assistance. Theopropides and two visitors hurry off. Tranio to the audience. What a pretty clever scheme, eh? He unlocks the front door with his key and enters. Enter Margaritas. End of Act 2. Miss Egregious, to the audience. This has been a bad year for me, Miss Egregious, the moneylender. In fact, it has been a lousy year. From dawn to dusk, I haven't been able to lend a penny to a single soul in the farm, and of course I don't make any money on the interest. Trainer comes out of the house most cheerful until he sees Miss Egregious. To the audience, Trainer. Oh, what a world. Oh, my word, what now? This will never finish me. This will finish me forever. That looks like Miss Egregious, the moneylender, who lent money to my master's son, Philoxius, and of course the money was spent foolishly. Everything will be lost and my master discovers about the loan, and I won't be able to speak to the moneylender anymore. Oh no! Here comes my master. Oh no! Why is he returning so soon? I'm really in a mess. He mustn't find out. I must cause more confusion to confuse everyone. My dear audience, it's no fun to have a guilty conscience such as mine enter Theopropius. Where have you been, master? Theopropius. I just met a man who sold me the house. Trainio. I hope you didn't tell him all I told you about the guest. Theopropius. I certainly did. Every detail. Trainio. Oh, to the audience. Oh no, my beautiful scheme is blown to bits. Theopropius. What are you muttering about?
Trainio, did you really and truly tell him Theopropius everything? Trainio, does he admit to what he did to the guest? Theopropius, no, he denies it all. Trainio, denies it? The liar, the scoundrel. I think you should bring charges against him. Miss Argridius, to the audience. That looks like Trainio, the servant of Philoxius. They owe me money, and I can't get a penny of interest from them. He starts toward Trainio. Trainio, seeing this, tiptoes towards him to stop him from coming too close. Theopropius, where are you tiptoeing to? Trainio, nowhere, to the audience. I surely was born under an unlucky star. I can't have the master discover that we borrowed money. I'm full of misery. Fire on both sides. I'll speak to him. Miss Argridius, to the audience. It's a good sign that Trainio is coming toward me. Perhaps he has the money he owes me. Trainio, a very good day to you, Miss Argridius. Miss Argridius, never mind wishing me a good day. What about the money you would Philoxius owe me? Trainio, oh, be quiet. That's all you talk about. Miss Argridius, the audience. Sounds like he doesn't have a cent for me again. Trainio, it just so happens that you couldn't have come at me at a better time, you old tightwad. Miss Argridius, am I or am I not going to get the money you owe me? Trainio, you needn't yell, for I know you have a lovely voice. To the audience, I have a splendid plan that will solve my problem. Watch how clever I am, my friends. I have
decided to involve my master in this discussion. And all will be well. You see, I will start a loud argument so my master will overhear everything. Do not worry, you'll soon see how clever I am. Mr. Greatest, money please. Trainio, yelling, why don't you be a good little boy and go home? Mr. Greatest, go home? Trainio, come back in about an hour. Mr. Greatest, why should I run back and forth like an idiot? I'll wait here for an hour. Trainio, you are an obnoxious beast. Mr. Greatest, the money. Trainio, money. It seems that is the only word in your vocabulary. Mr. Grace, not an inch I will budge until I get my money. Trainio, shout as much as you like. You're the most obnoxious vermin I ever saw. Mr. Grace, that sort of language does not frighten me in the least. Theopropius, approaching. This is a rather hot argument you two are having. Trainio, what is this money he keeps screaming about? Trainio, silly moneylender, this is the father of Philoxius, and surely he will give you the money his son borrowed from you. Mr. Grades, I'll take it. Theopropius, Trainio, pray tell, what is this about? Why does my son owe him money? Trainio, oh master, cast the money in his dirty old face. Mr. Grades, to the audience. A bag of money hurled in my face would please me. I'll take I'll take it any way I can get it.
Theopropides. What money are you speaking of? Trinio. Your son owns him a little debt. Theopropides. How much is little? Trinio. Well, about 4,000 drachmas. Theopropides. Has my son really borrowed that much money? Trinio. Oh, master, say you'll give it to him, and let's get rid of this nuisance. Theopropides. And what has become of the 4,000 drachmas my son borrowed? Drachmas. My son borrowed. Trinio. Oh, it's there all right. Theopropides. Well, if it's there, you can pay it. Trinio. Well, it's not exactly there. You see, your son purchased a house with it. Theopropides. Well, that's splendid. I'm delighted that Phil Ashes is going into business. A very smart lad I have. What sort of house is it? Trinio. World's fail me. Theopropides. What do you mean, world's fail you? Trinio. It's a beautiful house. Or, master, do pay him, or I shall faint from looking at his stinging face. Theopropides. Very well. I'll pay you tomorrow, moneylender. Misericordias. Tomorrow will be fine. I'll go then and return home. Tomorrow. Return tomorrow. Exits. Tranio. Yelling after. And may the curses of all the gods follow you. To the audience. That moneylender nearly ruined it all for me. Theopropides. Stop muttering, Tranio, and tell me where this beautiful house is that my son purchased.
Tranio, to the audience. Now I'm truly sunk. Theopompilius. Answer my question. Tranio. Excuse me, sir. I'm simply trying to remember the location of the house. Theopompilius. Why is it so difficult to remember? Tranio. To the audience. If you're going to lie, you might as well make it with a big one. Theopompilius. Well, have you remembered it? Yes? Yet? Tranio. Yes, it has come to me. My memory has returned at last. The house your son purchased is the house right next to your own house. This one. Theopompilius. Are you joking? Tranio. To the audience. It won't be much of a joke if he doesn't pay the money or the money lenders. Theopompilius. Well, let's take a look inside. Knock on the door, Tranio. Tranio. To the audience. Ye gods, what am I going to do now? This is my utter end. My lies have trapped me again. We can't enter that house. Theopompilius. Hurry, Tranio, and knock on the door, and ask them to show us about. I am most anxious to look over the house my son has purchased. Tranio. But, sir, I just can't barge in like that. The ladies of the house might have objections. Theopompilius. Perhaps you're right. You find out if someone is, if it is a convenient time for us to visit. I'll wait down on the street while you arrange this. He walks to the far end of the stage. Tranio. To the audience. He is constantly upsetting my plans. Simo, the owner of the house, comes out. Well, here comes old Simo himself. A bit of luck at last. I'll stand on one side and plan my next move. End of Act 3.
Is this
Act
scene 4?
That's Act 4.
Act 4. Okay.
Simo, to the audience. That was the best meal of my wife ever cooked for me. I feel comfortably full. It was truly delicious. I think I'll walk into town before I take an afternoon nap. Tranio, to the audience. I'll fix that old Simo helps me out of that trap that I'm in. Watch, to Simo. May the gods cast their blessings upon you, Simo. Simo, why thank you, Tranio. What are you doing out here? Tranio, why I'm talking to the nicest man in town. You. Simo, thank you, Tranio, but I can't say I'm talking to the nicest servant in town. Tell me, what's been going on in your master's house since he's been away? Tranio, what do you mean? Simo, come out now. Come now. You know what I'm talking about. All those parties, drinking, card playing, and spending all your master's money foolishly. Tranio, I can't deny anything you say, but you have mercy, for before you see a servant who's about to die. My master is back. Simo, well, I guess that means imprisonment for you. Tranio, please don't give me away. Simo, I won't say the word. Tranio, would you do me one more favor? Simo, anything to help a drowning man? Tranio, would you let my master look over your house? Simo, that's a silly thing for me. Silly thing for him to do. My house is not for sale.
Tranio. I realize that, but my master's planning to enlarge his own house and wants to follow some of your plans since your house is so beautiful. Simo. Why, certainly. He has my permission to copy any of my ideas that he likes. Tranio, to the audience. The gods are with me. Do Don't you think I'm clever? Thank you, to Simo. I'll call my master now. Theopropides, sir. Theopropides, sir. Theopropides, is it all arranged? Simo, I understand you would like to look over my house. Theopropides, yes, if it's not too convenient for you. Simo, by all means, go in and take a good look around. Go anywhere in the house, just as if it belonged to you. Theopropides, as if, Trainio whispering to Theopropides. See how sickly he looks. Don't upset him more by reminding him that you purchased this house. It will only make you more ill. Theopropides, I understand what you mean. Trainio, you got a real bargain, so don't give the impression that you've got the better deal. Don't say a word about having bought this house. Theopropides, very sensible of you. Trainio, very sensible indeed. Simo, please enter the house. Theopropides, thank you, I will. Come, Trainio. They all enter Simo's house. Enter Phaniscus, a slave of Calidame. Jeez. Something. Phaniscus, to the audience. I'm here to bring my master home. He's visiting Philauches, and probably has been drinking a great deal. I'm the only one of his slaves who is any good. I take good care of my master, Calidamates, and that's why he's good to me.
Enter Panaetium, another slave of Calidamates. Panaetium, hey, Phaniscus, why don't you wait for me? Phaniscus, go away and leave me alone. Panaetium, don't be so sure of yourself, just because you're the master's favorite. Phaniscus, Phaniscus, you know something? Looking at you makes my eyes sore. Panaetium, very funny. Phaniscus, I'm not going to get in an argument with you. My job is to bring Calidamates home safely. Panaetium, you do anything to remain his favorite. Phaniscus, I don't have to listen to you. Panaetium, I don't want any more of your lips either. Phaniscus knocks on the door. Phaniscus, is my master Calidamates here? Open the door, somebody. I'm sure Calidamates told me he was going to visit his best friend, Philauches. Theopropides and Trainio emerge from the house next door. Trainio, well, master, what do you think of the house your son bought? Theopropides, I'm most pleased. We certainly got a wonderful bargain. Trainio, I deserve some credit, for I persuaded Philauches to borrow the money to buy the house. Theopropides, good work, Trainio, but now go and find my son and tell him I have returned. Trainio, very good, sir. And to the audience, I'll be by the back door and join my fellow jokers. I'll tell them how well I handled everything, perhaps a little reward. Well, don't you think I deserve it? I certainly do. Trainio enters the haunted house by the back door.
Phaniscus, this is very strange. No sound is coming from within the house. Theopropides, to the audience. What are those two doing at my house? Why are they both looking through the keyhole? Phaniscus, I shall knock again. Open the door. I have come to fetch my master Calidamates. Theopropides, just a moment. Why are you trying to break into my house? Panaetium, what's it to you, old man? Theopropides, I beg your pardon. How dare you speak to me in such a fashion? Panaetium, why are you meddling in other people's business? Theopropides, obviously you have come to the wrong house. Phaniscus, our master is in that house drinking. Panaetium, and we have come to fetch him home. Theopropides, you don't seem to understand. Nobody lives in this house anymore. Phaniscus, doesn't young Philauches live here? Theopropides, he used to live here, but he moved away some time ago. Panaetium, well, he lived here yesterday. Theopropides, you are most mistaken. No one has lived in this house for the last 6 months. Panaetium, you must be dreaming. Phaniscus, he certainly does live here. I know that for the last week there has been a party going on in that house, this house. Theopropides, tell me, who has been giving these parties? Panaetium, Philauches. Theopropides, which Philauches are you speaking of? Phaniscus, I think his father's name is Theopropides.
Theopropides, to the audience. If he is speaking the truth, this will be the death of me. I must ask him more questions. To Phoenicius, you say that this Philaetius has been entertaining his friends in that house, and that one of his wild friends is your master, Calamidius. Phoenician. Yes, Phoenicius. Ever since his father went away on a long journey, he has been partying almost every night. Phoenician. That's the truth. Theopopides. And then he bought the house next door. Phoenician. Wrong. Theopopides. But he gave the owner a deposit of 4,000 drachmas. Phoenician. Wrong again. Phoenicius. Phoenicius. Are you a friend of the man's father? Theopopides. You have just sounded the death knell of this poor old father. Phoenicia. He is certainly living in great luxury and extravagance. The money that Archis spends is unbelievable. Theopopides. He has brought his poor father to his grave. Phoenicius. Doesn't anyone hear me knocking on the door? Phoenician. Let's go. Nobody is home. Phoenicius and Phoenician exit. Theopopides to the audience. Oh, this is the end of me. All these things I have heard have burned my heart into red cinders. Simo enters. Ah, here comes the man from whom my son purchased the house. Simo, I understand my son gave you 4,000 drachmas. Your son hasn't ever given me a penny. End of Act 5. Act 4.
Act 5. The last act. Theopopides. Then it was Tranio, his servant, who gave you the 4,000 drachmas. Simo. No. Perhaps you have had a dream about all this. Theopopides. Didn't my son give you some money when he bought your house? Simo. Are you saying your son bought my house? All I can tell you is that your son bought nothing from me. He didn't even borrow a cup of sugar from me. Theopopides. Oh, ye gods, I'm dying. Simo. This sounds like some of Tranio's mischief. Theopopides. Tranio has fooled me in the most disgraceful manner. Help me. Simo. Certainly. What can I do? Theopopides. Let me send your servants. Simo. Enter my house and pick whom you like. They both enter Simo's house. Enter Tranio. Tranio to the audience. Well, I got everyone out of the house the back way, so that problem is settled. Theopopides. Theopopides enters with 4 servants. Ugh. Yow. Looks like the jig is up. I'm trembling all over. You, Tranio, are to be punished. Grab him. Pin him to the ground. The servants pounce on Tranio. How about if I say I'm sorry? Theopopides. As I live, I'll see you dead first. Tranio. Oh, sir, one lie led to another. I couldn't help it. Theopopides. And the punishment I'm going to give you, I can't help it either. Someone in the audience, hand me a chair. Thank you. Now, servants, place this tricky little Tranio across my knee so I can talk to him with my hand. Servants, place Tranio over Theopopides' lap. Audience, how many whacks shall I give him? 5, 10, 20.
As Theopopides thinks and Tranio cries out in pain. There, you are pardoned. Tranio jumps off the stage and runs into the aisles crying as he holds up his spear head. Audience. Now our comedy is coming to an end. Here's a final warning for you. One lie leads to another and another and another. And now clap your hands to show that we are friends. And the curtain would close.
Discussion Part 2. Questions. The play was originally set in Latin. So, what do you think, what kind of major changes do you think could have happened when exchanging...
Like translation?
Yes, translating it to English.
Well, that's probably why it was so, roughly written, is because they probably didn't have all the words exactly. I mean, Latin to English isn't always exact on the dot.
The Roman language was a major part of this. Why do you think it was Latin that they chose to put this in?
Well, probably because our main language was Latin, I mean, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Good job, Claire.
Second. Okay, how do we see Roman slavery as portrayed through the play? Tranio and Grumio were slaves.
They were such slaves.
Phoenicius.
Mm-hmm.
He was a slave.
And Phineas.
And their names are so hard. But
Pineapple. Let's just call him Pineapple.
Do you think it's an accurate portrayal of their slavery? I don't believe so.
I don't think so, because they were portraying slavery at Athens, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were easily
They were easily.
The
They
play
left for a
forgiven.
long time, and they're easily
Easily
forgiven.
forgiven.
They're just given a you're going to time out or spank it, boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
I seriously doubt they would spank
I
the slaves
think-
for doing
I
that.
doubt it's
They
just
would
for the
probably
con.
kill
However, they did
They
the
did.
Romans did violate their slaves. Yes.
They did it like with whips
Here-
and
here's the
with
thing, it might
weapons
have also
and
been
with something
Athens
scary
play.
and yeah.
Yes, it was set in Athens, but it was portrayed through
It was a Roman
Platus's,
play
and he
that's
was Platus's eyes, and he was a Roman. So how do you think that would have happened? He must have gone light. He must have thought that Roman slavery was harsher and more crueler than
Maybe he
Greek
meant
slavery?
to do. Maybe since it was a comedy, that he made it look less so violent and
Yeah, that's probably why he just had him being spanked because
because
that's
it's
what
a
he
comedy.
has.
Do you really want a comedy to be like
Yes.
blood and guts and whips and swords
Well,
and
sometimes
bad
they
stuff
My
like
answer
that?
continues to be yes.
But additionally, the play did feature Greek slavery. How must Platus have thought of the Greek slavery that way to portray like that? I mean, he wasn't portraying his ideals of Roman slavery, but we'll get to that more later. But still, the Greek slavery was portrayed through his eyes. He must have thought they went easy on their slaves, and it was real breezing society. It was an easy breezy society, free flow sort of.
Yeah.
How does the play portray Roman slavery? Well, to begin with, the play is from a Roman's perspective, Platus's, and then and then
It's a Roman play.
but it was set in Athens, and it was different. It seemed like, from what we learned, that Roman slavery, if this was considered to
Hey,
be...
wouldn't the clothing be inaccurate in that? Because they would only have like perspective of like a Roman slave's clothing, which is like what? What do they wear? Some
They were just
Togas.
normal clothing. Really.
Have I?
like linen.
Yes.
Togas.
Yes, there was actually that. But
It's kind of like that old day.
Tunics.
You know.
But going back to the slavery, from what we learned, Roman slavery was really harsh, but this time they portrayed it as somewhat
Well, like, this was-
easygoing.
Yeah, they like showed it. What are you doing, Claire?
It needs to be moved.
Okay.
Okay.
Going back to the discussion.
It needs to be moved. Hold on. Okay. Right there. Okay.
Going back to the discussion, the Romans, from what we learned, Roman slavery was harsh and cruel, and then masters either violated, tortured, beat, or even killed their
They made
slaves.
him in the gladiators, made him fight to the death. It's like the Hunger Games in ancient times.
But yeah,
That's-
but
Very
one.
good.
but the play portrayed it as such easygoing. They only got spanked for like lying.
Well,
and
they
this,
didn't want to get it too harsh because it's a play.
It's a
and
comedy.
it
We
was
went
a
over
play
this.
for.
You have to run in the
Roman
middle
slavery
to
can
keep
be
your
portrayed through
spears.
this.
It
Was it like this?
Yeah.
There are several
I-
primary source documents describing. There were several sources describing how harsh Roman slavery was, but this could be considered as documentation of easygoing slavery in Rome.
There could be.
Not-
Well, if so, Tranio was called a very truthful and trusted slave
When
And
he was actually out
when he
drinking
was
and partying
going
and-
bad
Oh.
things. But maybe that's going to some slaves back in Rome actually were really good and were favorites. Kind of like
Yeah, there was
Phoenicius.
All right, guys,
Yeah,
I'm
Phoenicius.
stopping this right now.
One.
Meta.
House. What does the language that the characters use? What does it portray? How does it work? Like those kind of questions. Let's discuss
Well, they
that.
tend to use like basic language. I mean, like they don't use like
It's translated
super-
from Latin again, but like what can we gather from the translation?
Well.
simple.
They knew how to
wording.
party hard.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that could be perceived as like inaccurate due to how we're Roman slaves really partying.
Partying.
How can we see that?
Because
But-
you don't really know what a Roman
Of
slave is
course,
doing
Roman slave
24/7.
But yeah, still Roman slaves.
Especially that master that went away and
See,
trusted his fat, lazy son for 3 years to take care of untrustworthy slaves.
Yeah,
and be
but
partying and drinking all of his money.
But going back to that, Roman slavery, like, were slaves really partying, and would like someone like Simo in the play, would they have Roman slaves, were they really partying? That's
Well,
the
probably
the
not.
point
So,
of
like, if a Roman threw a party, the slaves would probably be like the people serving the party.
True.
Yeah,
But they would
Yeah.
still be able,
How
you know,
were- how- I don't
they
know.
wouldn't have
then
to
again,
scrub people's
Simo,
backs
why-
in the bathroom.
Yeah, Simo
but
did.
going back to comedy, it's a
Yeah.
comedy, so you have to make it funny.
Mm-hmm,
So they made it funny with.
I guess they sort of made that for the Roman audience. Platus just
Here.
like directed in a different direction than what was really going on in Rome.
They're like
Here's
mocking
what
But
the
there are several elements of the play that really just focus on Roman
hey,
slavery and how
hey.
it works and all that.
They're like mocking the Greeks because this is supposed to be Greek slavery.
Right.
So
Exactly.
they're like mocking them, saying, "Oh yeah, they just let their slaves do whatever the heck they want all the time, like partying and drinking and getting drunk." And
But
all
it's
that
not.
crazy stuff.
Well, I mean that's the Romans, but the slaves are the ones, being beaten and snapped at and
They're just saying that
treated like dirt.
they're just saying that Greek slavery is less harsh
Or
than that.
sand.
They're weak.
Or sand.
Like the Greeks are weak. We are
Either one's
strong.
nice.
Yeah. That's what the Romans are saying. It's not really accurate portrayal of either one. But they're also incorporating elements of Roman slavery, Greek slavery, what they can learn from
This
those
could be
things.
biased.
I don't really think so. It's
It
like,
could be.
Yeah,
It could
yeah,
be
you're right.
biased.
No,
If
I
it
don't
was
know.
written by a human being, it's biased.
If it's a human being from Rome trying to get a good perspective
Of Greek slavery.
of bad perspective of
It's
Greek
not
slavery compared to
accurate.
Roman
Really.
slavery,
It's not really biased. It's not really accurate.
but it's going based off of a Roman
It's
person
not accurate
writing a
'cause it's
script
biased.
that's good for the Romans, which he's a Roman compared to the Greeks. If it was a Greek, then it would probably be bad.
Yeah, how would the Greeks really see this? We all know that the Romans thought it was funny, or else it wouldn't be deemed a comedy. And Platus, he's like a really famous playwright, so yeah, the Romans must have thought that it was a good play, it was mocking the Greeks or something, and then it was a
And they
good
didn't
portrayal.
really like the Greeks all that much either. I mean.
But they idolize their morals and ideals and all that. Their system of government, they built upon democracy with this.
No,
Mhm. Yeah, so I don't really see how that would. Oh wait, going back. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Okay, yeah.
My question is, do we really think that Roman slave masters really did leave their slaves unaccompanied for like 3 years?
His
Would
son
that really
was
happen
there.
in Rome?
Well, I don't know. I think that could happen, but it's most likely not. This play is actually a documentation of that.
Don.
Yes.
I think he was, I mean, outside the play, like what the person was thinking when he made it was maybe the owner was testing his son with keeping
Responsibility?
track. Yeah, responsibility.
That could be like a sort of a symbolistic
Just kind of background.
background. Yeah.
But
of
then
the play.
again, he did.
Conspiracy theory.
Would they really do that in ancient Rome? I mean, like leave with
Some might,
well,
because he did say that what's his name?
Philotius.
Trio. Okay, the slaves starting out in the beginning of the play. Tranio. He thought he was a good slave. He said, "Oh, my less loyal slave and whatever," but then he finds out it's bad, so then he punishes him. Well, the son used to play discus, and he was favored, and he had he was an athlete, so he was given the job to see if he could.
Yeah,
make
but
something
so
out of his life
would
more.
Romans really do that? And like, I don't know if they would just trust it, because they said slaves were treated like property. They were important. They were.
But then, going over it, one single person could do something than another person. What's that called? You have a group like a Romans, but you have to single them out, like one person, kind of the outsiders.
Not sure how.
Singularity.
I was gonna say
It was
racism,
some
but I don't think that's it.
because
Social.
there's so many
Governors.
Romans and so many
Social
personalities that a person like a slave owner who hates his slaves would do something very bad, but someone who loves their slaves
It's all a
would
matter of opinion.
cherish them.
Yeah.
It matters on the opinion and the person. So any Roman could do it. if it was a certain Roman. Rome could do it, yeah. Rome, any civilization can do what a human being can do because they're human beings. Human beings can do anything.
Yeah, moving on, I would think that,
Well, they couldn't really do anything back then. But
No, but what I'm saying is
Yeah.
they can do whatever they please.
Please.
Well, technically,
No, Roman
everybody
folks couldn't
could
really do what they
whatever
please. I
want,
mean,
but
that
there
doesn't
will be
really work.
consequences.
Social class is one of the major issues demonstrated in the play. I mean, the slaves are here, the slaves are like here, and then the masters are way
superior.
above them. They're superior, and then yet they're leaving
And then
the slave in charge of the
and the slave
son.
goes
Like Theodes, I forget his name, left his son.
Yeah, how old is this kid?
I'm
They never
not
told.
sure.
They never said
He's
the
three.
name, the
And he's
old.
They didn't give
how
specific
old.
details. However, but
Oh my god.
It's ancient Rome. There's no rules like that.
Roman, like the Tranio had to take care of his master's son.
Philomachus.
Philish, yeah.
For like
I
Philashus?
don't know.
Aha!
Yeah. But yeah, would they really entrust a slave to do that?
No.
The
No.
play is somewhat accurate, but
Well,
sometimes
then
it's
again-
not. It's
It like flips
It
around
depends.
like a dying
Again,
fish.
it does
Is
depend.
it? But again,
on
it
the
goes back
master.
to Greek slavery. Are they mocking them? Yes.
Maybe.
It's comedy.
It's
We
set
can
in
safely
Athens.
say that.
It's set in
comedy.
Athens. How else would it would do that? How else would they portray Greek slavery? Yeah, they're just trying to picture the Greeks week. It's probably Plautus's just like it's a rhetorical device to get people to laugh
think
and
that
have fun.
the Greeks
Yeah.
are easygoing, or maybe it's just like a thing to have fun. It's just like, oh, we're just gonna make fun.
Yeah,
of you, but
maybe,
it's
they're,
not
maybe they're
encouraging.
just saying we're better than them. We built a republic. They built a democracy. We have a better system of government. All that stuff.
We murder
Going
people
back
every
to
day.
bias.
No, it's not really biased. It's not really accurate. That's the thing. Part of
not
it is
accurate.
Most of it is accurate.
You
Part
don't know
of
it's
it isn't.
accurate unless like more than one person is there.
Bloodshed.
It could be. It could be a source of
Romans in the-
how Roman life was there. I mean,
But then they twist it. They could have twisted and they could have not. Because you really don't know unless you were there to actually find out. Which
There's like-
no one was
there's-
there because they're all dead.
there's original sources, primary. They were
Well,
in
hey,
books.
hey, hey,
yeah.
hey, hey, if you think about it, then maybe Romans, like slavery had, like, some Roman slaves actually had it a lot harder than Greek slaves, because I don't think Greeks ever threw their slaves into an arena and then gave them pointy sticks. and told them to
Gladiators and
die.
kill.
Triggers bloodshed. Again, I say.
Yeah, I guess they were just trying to demonstrate how Greek slavery was less harsh than Roman. Maybe that could be like serving as evidence for
Guys, we got
Maybe,
we gotta stop this
maybe,
question.
maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe. Hey,
Okay.
no, maybe. This is the maybe. Maybe the guy who wrote it was like actually like protesting against how harsh Roman slavery was.
I don't really think that would happen. He was a Roman. They were fine with it. Not like they were being.
Maybe he was. I don't know.
Attacked.
If he was protesting against it, wouldn't he make it really harsh and make
Well,
people
maybe
think,
it's like a
oh man,
minor
we're being
pro-
really harsh?
Maybe
Because
it's
if
like
it's
a
making
minor.
it
But this is
better,
Greek slavery.
then
Yeah,
to
yeah, I
show,
don't think he would
like-
really be portraying it if he was setting it in Athens, etc.
And then going back to the Greek slavery and the Roman slavery and their differences, they're really not that different because remember the Romans cherished and they
They
kind
treated
of
it like property.
they kind
The
of
Romans
They-
cherished
they
yeah.
kind of
Well,
They-
at least
they
the
s-
women
they
in
didn't really
Rome were
cherish-
actually allowed to go out and do stuff without people around them all the time.
Okay, we'll split this into several sections following. Okay, men and women in the play to begin with.
Well, there's no women in the play.
Yeah, exactly. There's.
so why because the women
It's like
They're not putting it. I don't know.
It's completely against women. It's all about
How's
slave-
it against them?
Yes,
I mean,
they're
it's
all
not really
male
a question.
names, and
Debate!
they're all male names, and you know what? There's not really
Well, to be
women
honest,
in the
I thought
play.
the Moneylender was
It
a girl
means
at first,
it means
so.
it's quite a lot because that just demonstrates like sexual inequality in the
but
First
then
there's
again
not
this
money
does
under, it's
represent
money
that
already.
we go back to where our assignments were. Remember?
which one?
The one we did
The essay?
earlier, the one with the women with they had rights and all
Yeah,
that.
they did have
Oh,
rights, but
they did
how,
have rights,
why
but
were they
they
not
not.
included in the play? Was this like
Yeah, they-
inequality?
Because they didn't have any.
They didn't have true
if there
rights,
were,
probably.
they were playing boys. And. Yeah.
Yeah, from the background research I conducted, I learned that women weren't traditionally like in plays. Pot of Gold, Pot of Gold, another play by Plautus. this man is not in love with a woman. He's not in a woman. Not in love with himself. He's in love with a pot of gold. It's all about men and
That's a
their-
whole different
Yeah,
play.
completely.
That's a
Yeah.
whole different scenario. We're not
But
even
then-
still,
that.
overall, Roman plays are just demonstrating
But my
men's
question is,
quests and all that stuff.
there are many Roman plays out there that have women in them. But
Like this
remember,
particular
since the
one
men
doesn't.
had more rights, the men had to play the women too.
Yeah, I guess that would have to work.
So
Yeah,
then,
because like women
did.
in ancient
They
Rome,
actually
they
did.
had
That
like
was
rights
what
to
they
own
did.
businesses and property, and
But
you know,
they
they
couldn't
could go
be
to
in
public
the
the
men
events.
were high.
That's
They were
just-
high
no.
kings. The women were just.
The women,
They were the just
women
little
were just
teeny
scrimmaging.
tiny. They
Like
were
they
just
didn't have as
scrimmage.
many rights, but they were the real brains behind the operation.
They were brains.
Let's look at social class now.
social class.
Yes, the social class is clearly demonstrated in the play.
Definitely.
Here's slaves.
Yeah.
Here's Roman masters.
You got your
and
rich
they're
snob buckets and their slaves.
They're more powerful. They're more. They seem like they're more civilized, really.
More
Because
than they
That's
were
not
than we
cheap.
actually learned about the
this
Romans.
is yeah.
The
Whatever.
Romans were pigs. That goes back to Phil Lashes. He's kind of representing
Oh, yeah.
who they actually are.
Is he? Yeah, he's a symbolic character. When we get to the character analysis, I think we should talk about
Yeah.
how. Yeah, definitely. But right now, social class is really a major issue here. I
It
mean,
is.
here are the slaves. Here are them. I don't really think that
Clicks.
that Plautus is trying to make a point by writing this. He's just trying to. Again, it's set in Athens, so we can't really take everything he says as Roman. But you know what? He had limited knowledge
Was that
of Greek
okay?
slavery, Greek culture, all that. It's Roman and Greek. It's like a mix between the two. We can.
But then why would he make a Roman/Greek mythology?
It's not really.
It's not really
Well,
mythology.
it's
a
not
play.
honestly, it's a play. Why would he do that if he was Roman?
Maybe he was mocking. Again, when we're going back to this,
Mark,
mocking the Greeks.
Maybe
Mocking the Greeks. But they idolize them. Maybe he's just trying to. Again, he could be
Not
saying.
all of them idolize them, probably.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they did copy a lot of Greek stuff.
They
Back
did.
on topic,
But that's
guys.
only,
Come on, let's
that's
go
only
back to
because
the
we're
topic.
jealous of them, probably.
Okay, final question. Let's do this.
Okay.
Do you have any questions? I don't.
I do. Hold on. I had it and it's gone. Hold on. Okay. It didn't work. Sorry. Oh. Okay.
Why was the play not funny if it was a comedy?
Wait. Hold on.
It was translated
I
poorly.
mean,
It's from
it was,
Latin.
It was,
Come on.
it was from Latin.
The
was
language
from
the
Latin
characters
to English, and it doesn't really
use
translate
are actually
well.
pretty funny.
Yeah.
There are several jokes, but they're hidden underneath. Like,
And they weren't exactly
like
expressive.
in the
And
the
beginning,
most boring
Grumio
parts.
is saying
Yeah.
basically saying that he's civilized.
Even though
that
he's a big
Tranio,
fat liar.
that Tranio thanks him to be a what's it called?
Loyal
No,
servant.
no.
Loyal.
Tranio thinks Grumio to be a
Selfish
country
pig.
babkin, and then
Oh, right.
Right.
And-
Bumpkin.
and then yeah, there's like several different ideas hidden within the play. Like he's saying that I'm not a country babkin, and then he's like, can you give me some
Bumpkin.
soil?
Bumpkin.
Bumpkin. Can you give me some soil? Can you give me something to help me on the farm? And then bam, it just like the idea there is.
Well, like it starts with no.
Well, maybe all of the different characters.
Yeah, I think that's
Grumio.
like Grumio
Grumio,
Tranio
right.
conversation. That's more of a Roman idea because I don't know how to explain it, but let's just talk about that for a second. Like Grumio and Tranio seem like that first act seems like it's
Well, yeah, you
Oh,
have
about
like
Roman.
a city slave that's yelling at a
country
country
slave.
slave.
Here, I
that's yelling
have a
at
question.
school.
That seems like more of a Roman. Like their slaves were more categorized as either city or state, city, state, etc. City, state,
Or
country.
country bumpkin.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. That should be the last one.
What?
My question is when the country bumpkin says, whoever his name is, when he said, "Hey, do you have any fodder?" What do you think fodder is?
Yeah, what is fun?
Food.
What is fodder?
It's like something for the soil.
Food.
Although fodder, do you think fodder might be the?
It's food.
It's symbolistic.
All right, hold on a second.
that's what I
Hold on,
meant.
we'll look it up.
It's different types of food. It's like
Wait.
Yeah, wait,
You
no.
sure it's
fodder.
not what I thought it was? Because when we went back to the wasn't it
Fodder
Roman
is like
rock-
it's
when the
it's also a
rotten
simplistic
Romans-
idea
Do
because
you need that for cows? Oh, I need it to pour all over my cows.
it's simplistic because you know what Grumio is saying I'm not a country bumpkin and then he's like can I have some fodder and then that's something used in the country
But
so
maybe that's giving the point about what maybe Rome or Greek.
yeah that
But what I'm trying to see is
it's more like that
when he
that's
said
what it
that,
is.
it sounded like he was very like when he said you don't have any fodder.
You didn't hear the tone of his voice. It just
Yeah, the tone of the story is sort of
Tone
different.
is very different than what it could be.
The mood is like it's not really. Some of the parts are dramatic. Some of the parts.
gosh!
Well, I knew it was. I knew it.
What is it? What is fodder?
wrong one. Translation.
Yeah, definitely wrong.
Okay. Well, going back. Well, going back. Guys. Fine. Today, what does the play tell us about Roman life?
Yeah.
Okay.
they
So
like
education. Let's begin with this.
Education.
What do we
How
learn
is
from
education?
Philosophes' character? No, like the master.
Philolaches?
Yeah, Philolaches.
Well, are you going to?
He
Are you
said-
going to
what did they?
education?
Yeah, what did they teach in school? We can learn some
Well,
things
like
from
they
that.
said, like he was like a discus player, and they felt like sports were probably really important.
Sports were emphasized, just like the Greeks.
That's what started the No.
No,
No, no,
yeah,
that-
the
that-
Greeks
no.
started the Olympus.
Yeah, but
Greece.
they took out Greek ideas and they revolutionized them.
Yeah.
Exactly. That could be that could be
Because
a major
you
part
would
of
think
it.
that kind of the gladiator and that ring and all that. Maybe it was kind of like they
They adapted it
copycat
from
the
they,
Olympics.
they adapted it from Greeks, right?
Yeah. But they kind of
Made a
copycat and made it
pass
look
around
better.
so that
But
the
it
person
didn't look
that
that better.
is
No,
holding
no.
is
Remember,
the
it was
only
from the
person who can
Etruscans,
tell.
all that. Yeah, but still, Greeks had some ideals of Roman.
It is.
Like what's it called? Gladiatorial combat. They had some ideas of that.
Well, I mean, like yeah, they would ride chariots around, and people would fight each other in the Olympics. But
When you go back to Rome and you look at theirs, when you look at what they did, not compared to the play, but compared to what we've learned, that the gladiators and the fights to the death and all they did,
Let's
like
murder each other.
murder animals. Animals murdered them
I know
Yeah, okay,
several species of animals went extinct in the Roman Colosseum
because
because they were
what
because
they did.
they wanted to see blood drawn. They wanted these animals
That's
to
what
die.
Rome
they killed
was
off
hungry
3
for.
species of
Okay,
tigers.
let's move on. Okay, let's think about this. Education,
Rome was
social
hungry
class,
for blood.
social class. We've
Exactly.
discussed those two. Let's talk about what can we overall learn from the play about Roman life? What did they do? Well, slavery was a major part, which we have already discussed.
But what about when I'm going? Now I know. You remember when we heard that Romans ate a lot and then did all that?
they would eat.
It's kind of like the lashes. He would.
And
He was
then
lazy.
grow up,
lazy.
then eat and
He
eat
would.
and eat, then throw
It's
up.
like in the Hunger Games again.
He's
They're like in the
very-
castle.
He's
they
symbolistic.
discuss
He
themselves.
symbolizes Roman
People,
like-
Roman men, Roman.
What
Masters-
is with you and Hunger Games?
I
women-
don't know.
like they were said to be uncivilized, and then that he
They
sort
call
of
the Greeks
emphasizes
uncivilized.
them.
Hey. They call the Greeks uncivilized, yet the Romans would gorge themselves and then force themselves to puke so they could eat more.
And then
Yeah,
they killed innocent things just for the venture
For the
of
love of
blood.
blood.
It was literally like
crazy.
a massacre.
Guys, I think it's hard to learn things from a comedy because it's all been changed to make the
Comedy-
person go out, however
Okay.
huge sense
It's
of
hard
humor they
to-
have.
it's
How
hard
does
to
this
lean into a
demonstrate?
comedy.
Okay,
Never
now
mind.
moving on. How does this demonstrate Roman slavery? Okay, it's from a Roman's eyes.
It
so,
doesn't
and
demonstrate Roman slavery at all.
It doesn't.
It's from a Roman's eyes.
But he does get. They do get punished.
Here's what happens. It's
Well,
from
yeah,
a
they
Roman's
don't get
eyes.
spankings.
Okay, back to that. It's from Plutus' eyes.
A
He had,
Roman.
he had limited knowledge of Greek slavery. Hence, he had to take some of his own ideals, some of Roman's ideas about slavery,
his-
and then incorporate them into his play. It can definitely provide some information about what
It
slavery was
cannot,
like in
though.
Rome.
Although it would be twisted.
It's not completely twisted. It's,
But it can be twisted.
It's not really twisted, but incorporated. It's in the mix, really. Greek slavery. What can this tell us about Greek slavery? Well, it's set in
Greek
Athens.
slavery wasn't harsh.
Yeah,
Greek
it tell-
slavery wasn't.
How the Romans thought of Greek slavery.
Yeah.
It's set in Athens. It's portrayed through a Roman's eyes. The Romans thought Greek slavery to be weak and not really.
Petty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they
how much
trusted their
this
slaves.
can really just like
Like,
focus in on how they thought of their government, how they thought of their ideals, all that. Even though they idolized them, like taking in their
Most of
ideas.
them.
They didn't idolize.
Yeah,
They
no,
basically
no,
copied
like,
their religion.
taking their-
They didn't idolize.
taking
what
in
they
their
did is
ideas.
They took them their ideas because
Adapted.
they were jealous. They wanted to be bigger than them because it's the Roman Empire. It's Rome. They were thirsty for blood. They were thirsty for power. They wanted to rule the world. That's
Not
Rome.
really. Oh, that's a
That's
sort
when
of,
it's
that's sort of
biased. I know it's
exaggeration.
biased.
Not,
I know,
No,
it's
not
not
really.
biased.
was
Yeah.
very biased, Claire.
I know
Okay.
it's biased.
Moving on. Yeah. How does this affect modern events? How do the events in the play like relate to modern events?
I
How
want
do
to
we
talk
connect
for
them?
once.
Okay.
Once,
Let him talk.
please. Right. Jeez. Well, there was that aspect of like, oh, I've been lying too far. I can't just get out of it. That is like everywhere today.
It's a fable. They're telling like this is very common.
They're learning
Greek
the story.
fables tell
I
a
thought this
lesson.
was meant to be
Do you
a
remember the
question
ending
discussion
where
and
he,
not a debate.
do you remember where he said at the end, thank you for our show. It demonstrates like, and then he said something about how one lie leads to another. It's a fable. Greek fables are actually very famous in this. Aesop, and then this like sort of exemplifies.
Well, again, Romans are copying the Greeks so they can have a better bond. They have
Not
a
really.
better
No. Let's look at this. Their play is it's sort of demonstrating the theme of one lie leading to another, and then
Exactly.
That
justification
honesty is the
of those
best
lies. Are they
policy.
justified? Are they right? Are they moral?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you trying to save yourself, or are you trying to save someone else? That's the question.
And really, you can't be sure.
Are Tranio's lies really justified? He's trying to protect himself along with Philautius.
And his friend, and
His friends.
again, he goes over,
It's sort of justified
and
here.
then it goes against his master, which then his master.
Gets mad.
Yeah, we're sort of straying on topic,
like,
and we're going on to
yeah.
like analysis of the characters and themes, all
We'll do
that.
that later, though.
Yeah. So moving on, what does this tell us about more on Roman life? How is it like? How did?
Again, it's
Work.
really
Wait, no, they had time to go see comedies that were poorly written in English.
poorly
Yes.
written.
It was Latin.
Horribly,
Come on.
horribly,
It was
Horrible.
it was in Latin.
Horrible.
It was Latin. This has a very linear plot. It does not go. It does
Yes,
not go far.
but then going back to
Here's
it,
a
Taking
sample
into
of Roman
account
comedy.
their ability to, they had very limited on.
That's what
Um,
Phase thing.
Yes.
This is just what I think of Roman comedy. And he's like, this is hilarious. He like his helmet fell off his head. and
But
anyone
that's sort of
today
biased
will be
against
like,
the Romans because they're not
but-
completely just like
Well, the
buffoons
Romans
like
weren't total
history portrays
idiots
them as.
either.
This
I
is
mean, they
completely
took
no,
over
but
that-
they
that
had
does not
horrible
work.
comedy.
Okay, that was not a horrible comedy. Okay,
Yeah, it was.
we don't want to be biased and just
We're
discuss
not
it.
biased, it's
We're
just that
discussing the
they were
characters.
very
What does this tell us about Roman life? No more of like
Doesn't
was
really
it a
tell us
good
anything about Roman life.
was
It's a play.
it a good comedy or wasn't it? Okay, that's our question.
Not
Is
really.
how
No
did it
comment.
work?
I'm going to
Okay,
be clear
we're going
with you.
back onto how Roman life worked. That's our
Do
question.
we have to cover your mouth?
That's
I don't
our
wanna
question.
cover it.
I don't
How
wanna
did
cover
Roman
it.
life work? Part of the discussion: character and theme analysis. What are major themes in the play? Lying, justification of lies.
Can't see.
Lying seems to be like the major theme, major motif of this entire play. This can tell us a lot about Greek life. Maybe lying was like some sort of motif in their leitmotif in history. It's a reoccurring theme, maybe. I'm not sure, but I don't know. Additionally, who are the symbolistic characters? I would say that Tranio symbolizes need for protection,
Well, yeah, like-
people's need to protect others, and then whatever his name is.
Philautius?
Philautius. Yes, this one's a big one. What does he symbolize? He symbolizes how Romans were. The sloth. Yes?
He's like a modern day teenager.
Really?
It is teetering, and that heart
Yeah,
is
but
going-
still, it demonstrates how Roman life was. Maybe he's like a character that's showing, because what we know from history, from what we learned from history, that Romans were uncivilized. He completely portrays that.
Oh, well, then we're being biased because they could be civilized in their own way.
But
They
then
are.
again, it's set in Athens. Are they just trying to make fun of the Greeks and saying that they're uncivilized? We don't know.
You
yeah,
don't know?
we do.
Incorporated ideas.
Let's go back
Wait,
in
unless
time and try to find
Platus.
Platus and
If we
see
go back in
if
time,
he
can we get a
can
dinosaur?
find out.
He's the one who wrote
That
it.
would
He
be-
incorporated
I
ideas.
want a
This
dinosaur.
tells us how life was in Rome, how life was in Greece. It's a pretty ideal comedy. It can tell us a lot about history. It's a source of it's a source of many different ideals and motifs and themes of history. Okay, moving on. Theme analysis. Okay, where do you think the themes were in the play?
Roman gladiators were
Theme,
breaking up debates.
fable,
It's a fable.
Horrendous.
Lying.
fable, comedy.
Oh yeah.
It was a lie. Obviously,
It's like a
it was obviously made to make
comedian
people.
fable.
It was
Like,
obviously
the
made
ending made me
people
laugh,
laugh,
a little
but it was
bit
also
because,
made to
you
make.
know, he got spanked like Tom.
Spank, 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 spank.
Yeah,
spank,
the spanking symbolizes something. It's a
How?
motif in the play. It's symbolistic.
Or
If
does
you,
it symbolize something?
but
Okay,
then
It
again, we
symbolizes
read.
Roman masters' inability to listen, and then Roman intolerance. Okay.
Mete, I just want to say something. I mean, I know I think everyone will like that you're delving into this so far, but not everything means something. Like, the cabbage on the other side of the road doesn't mean prosperity and peace between unrelated dimensions. It means there's a cabbage on the other side of the road. That's dinosaur.
But I mean, Roman intolerance, and that's what it symbolizes. That's what the spankings were. I mean, why do you think Tranio ran away? You know what? He was like, showing how you have to protect your friends to stay safe. And then Roman masters, they just showed how, it all ties back to Roman slavery. I mean, they're clearly just like hinting at how different Roman aspects and Greek aspects come together in one way. Because, you know what, it's from a Roman's eyes, so it's perceived as Roman slavery. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
It's not really Greek. They're studying in Athens, but they don't have much knowledge. So I think it's more of a more Roman slavery than Greek, because it's perceived, it's a Roman's eyes, and then they're not really, they're somewhat making fun, but otherwise not.
Going back to the theme analogy.
Yeah, analysis.
Analysis. You said there were lies into fable,
Yeah, there's like.
and you
just,
said that
how
the
lo-
Greeks were just trying to make fun. Or,
Yeah, no, Romans were.
But-
But like fables are common among Greeks. They're like adapting these ideas into their own plays. Platus was a very famous screening
But then
playwright.
again, he wrote it. You can write anything in the whole
We're
entire
basically
world on
circling around
paper.
the same
If
argument.
we can
We are.
go to Platus and
Questions
ask
like
him
last
and go
3
with
seconds
him
long.
back in
Well, we
time
can analyze
to
our play
witness
ourselves.
it, then we would actually understand and know if that's what Rome was like.
Well, yeah, we can get a
I
lot
hope
from.
you like this debate. We're gonna close up now.
No, stop, Zon, please. Okay, going back. The play can tell us a lot about it. The play can tell us about Roman life. It can tell us about different characters. It can tell us about how people were in Rome. All that stuff. Okay,
Thanks for your conclusion.
it's a very accurate portrayal of of Roman
We're
life.
going back to like question
But also,
two.
it also incorporates
really?
Greek ideas.
Yeah, we are.
It's
You're much larger
it's sort of a
than
comedy,
My
yet
face is like purple.
it contains several moods throughout the play, and then it can
Why
tell
is
us
your face
it can
like
tell us a lot about
It's
history.
like-
Okay? Roman life could be told from this perspective. Okay, beginning with no, can you stop, Claire, please? It's not funny.
But it's not-
We're almost
stop
done.
this
We're
one.
almost
We need to
done.
stop
We
Okay.
basically said the same thing 5 times over.
Well, back to this. Roman life can be perceived through this. Because you guys are saying exactly the same thing. That nothing can be told from this. That's not true, because you know a Roman life
No,
is
Mete.
portrayed throughout the
We're accepting your theory. You're saying the same
It's
thing
not.
over and over and over again.
I'm providing new evidence into this, though. Okay, it's true. Roman life can be perceived through this. Okay, like they were making fun of the Greeks. They thought the Greeks were uncivilized people. Yes, that happened. Who do you think? What do you think Philologus represents? He represents Greek Greek civilization and how they were uncivilized.
Let's
We
seal
need to
this.
seal it. It's done.
Roman okay, you know
We
what?
need to fix it. We need to fix it.
The spankings that the slaves got symbolized Roman intolerance. They were showing how.
Said this already.
Yeah, exactly. That's about it. Thank you.